be able to recreate Avenger Field, there's only a couple of places in the entire United States that we could go. So we thought, why not actually go to where it all started? It enabled us to really get the flavor that the real WASP told us about in our interviews. To be able to feel the ghosts at Sweetwater really helped us as filmmakers and our cast experience what those WASPs told us about. Now, from the standpoint of places practically to film, Avenger Field in Sweetwater, Texas is one of the worst places on earth.
So we ended up shooting in Sweetwater, Texas in August because of schedule. So, and it's hot.
The extras' shoes were melting to the airport ramp. It was so hot.
Going back to all the WASP we interviewed, one of my questions was, what was Sweetwater, Texas like? And every single one of them started with, it was hot, it was dusty, it was dry. My God, did I not understand more what those women were talking about when we arrived there. And I was like, I'm going to die.
We had to be very careful because we were shooting in Sweetwater in the end of summer, and we had to watch so people weren't going to start dropping like flies. Much to everybody's credit, everybody sort of dug down and kept themselves hydrated and persevered through the days that we were shooting there because they felt the story was that important. In filming at Avenger Field, we were trying to recreate an entire Army Air Corps base during World War II. The Commemorative Air Force wrangled a lot of different volunteers to bring aircraft, period aircraft, onto the field for our couple of days of work there, which we were absolutely indebted to those pilots and aircraft owners for doing so. For the actual extras, because we needed a number of women to be able to be the extras on the field, and men because they had male instructors, that we would do posts on social media.
So we had about 30 women show up at Avenger Field to dress up as WASP to be in our film for us.
All right, ready and action!
And a few of them were granddaughters of the WASP. Lots of them were pilots of varying levels, and everyone traveled themselves in and spent the day with us. I think everybody wanted to do it because they wanted to be part of the WASP story. It was a bunch of women who love the WASP and love their story, so they wanted to come and be a part of that. It was actually one of my favorite days ever because everybody was so excited and we were recreating this piece of history that was very, very important to me and I know very important to them. So everybody wanted to get it as accurate as possible.
The National WASP World War II Museum is located on Avenger Field in Sweetwater. So we partnered with them to help us out with the production of this film. And they provided us with all kinds of materials, historical background, buildings from the period that we were able to shoot in, as well as volunteers to help us out in some of the actual film crew roles.
Marker.
Thank you.
So to say that we couldn't get this movie done without the participation of the WASP Museum is not an exaggeration.
It was not going to be possible to do this project without them. They provided us with spaces to set up production, and then they also allowed us to film in their museum, so we had to take down all their flags and all their museum stuff. That way we could bring their World War II hangar back to what it looked like during World War II and a little less museum-y. You feel it when you get there. You can definitely feel the history there. The Commemorative Air Force's plane, they tracked back on its history and found out that it was part of the training at Avenger Field. So we had that plane there, fully restored to how it used to look. And we had women dressed as the WASP, how they used to look. It was just quite the experience to be able to be part of that and recreate it. And a lot of our crew up and down were like, this is one of the best experiences ever. I think everybody felt the weight of the importance of what we were doing with this film and where it was going and what the potential of it had for kids and especially young girls everywhere to see. And I think it was one of the best film sets I've ever been on. I'm sorry, it was the best film set I've ever been on.
Let's do it, Morgan.